Wahoo ELEMNT Bold Long-Term Review, the Apple of bicycle computers. The Wahoo ELEMNT Bolt V2 is an update to the original Wahoo ELEMNT Bolt GPS unit. It features a whole list of updates to benefit road cyclists, mountain bikers, gravel cyclists, and commuters alike. While it lacks a touchscreen and the ultimate customization of Garmin computers, the ELEMNT Bolt has a number of positives that set this computer apart from the competition. Those familiar with cycling computers really know of two names, Garmin and Wahoo. Garmin is a Goliath in the outdoor industry, offering the default computer choice for those looking for GPS tracking, riding statistics, and more recently, GPS navigation. Wahoo, starting with its ELEMNT line of computers, has brought the fight to Garmin by being easier to use and thinking outside of the box. I've found myself over the years using the most recent Garmin computers as well as the original Wahoo Bolt. How does the new Wahoo ELEMNT Bolt V2 stack up? An expanded feature set. The Bolt V2 isn't a giant leap forward in cycling computer technology, at least not in the same way that the original Wahoo ELEMNT computers felt. Most of the updates bring the Bolt up to the same capabilities as the larger Wahoo ELEMNT Roam computer. That's no bad thing, as there are still a number of changes under the hood. Perhaps most important to the Bolt is the new screen, which at 2.2-inch diagonally and with a 240x 320 pixel resolution, is the same as before but now uses a 64-color display. That display itself is covered in Gorilla Glass, like your smartphone. That color screen isn't utilized everywhere, but Wahoo selectively uses color to increase the contrast between data, or to provide color coding on mapping. Interestingly, this new screen actually makes it a more colorful screen than the larger Roam. The Bolt is the first Wahoo computer to use USB-C charging, much to the delight of techies out there. Switching to USB-C meant Wahoo can beef up water resistance to an IPX7 rating, theoretically allowing for accidental submersion in 3 feet of water for up to half an hour without issue. Quoted battery life is 15 hours of run time. A hallmark of Wahoo computers is the use of colored LEDs, which the Bolt has just above the screen. These LEDs are configurable to provide a graphical representation of power, heart rate, speed, or to indicate an upcoming turn. When paired to radar sensors like the Garmin Varia, it can also indicate a car approaching behind you. And if you dig Strava Live segments, the LED bar will tell you how well you're doing compared to your personal best along a chosen segment. The form factor of the Bolt has changed a bit compared to before. Importantly, the buttons are revised to make them easier to access when wearing gloves, while still retaining the satisfying clickiness of the previous buttons. While the basic aerodynamic silhouette is preserved from the previous Bolt, the new model is actually a little bit thicker, more squared off, and about 9 grams heavier than before. Like the previous Bolt and other Wahoo ELEMNT computer models, the ELEMNT Bolt V2 neatly integrates with the Wahoo KICKR line of indoor training elements. The computer neatly controls your Wahoo indoor training setup through in-ride changes to ERG modes, passive resistance, or through pre-installed training sessions. The Bolt comes with 16 GB memory, up from 4 GB before, and a claimed 15-hour battery life. Like other Wahoo computers, the new Bolt can control all of Wahoo's indoor training accessories without needing a smartphone. Wahoo ELEMNT Bolt in use. I should clarify that while I have used the range of Garmin's cycling computers as well as a few from Brighton and Stages, the original Wahoo ELEMNT Bolt was my computer of choice. Everything that I liked and disliked as well about the original Bolt largely applies here, just with a few changes. The screen is a huge upgrade. Not only does the selective use of color make it easier to view, but the screen is also physically closer to the Gorilla Glass outer layer, cutting out of shadowing and potential discoloration. The additional colors make data more legible. When you're riding, you would rather know what zone your heart rate or power is than the exact number, which Wahoo uses to call out specific zones. Coloring data zones seems minimal, but at a glance is something I've really come to appreciate. Then there are the buttons. I might be in the minority, but I got along well with the previous Bolt. But these new buttons are easier to push due to their raised profile. The buttons on the front and side have a positive clickiness that seems to be lost on other brands. And as before, the 2 right side buttons offer a zoom function, allowing quick adjustment of the number of data fields one might want. Press the up button for more data, and the down button for less data, simple and intuitive. While I use my computer to keep an eye on heart rate or power on occasion, I use a cycling computer largely for at-a-glance navigation, and the Wahoo Bolt is a bit hit or miss here. The new Bolt features on-device navigation that the old one didn't, with built-in mapping and rerouting that seems a bit faster than what Google Maps spits out for bike navigation. Further, the on-screen prompts, in conjunction with the LED row up top, do a fine job of notifying the rider of turns without being distracting.